for me. The sun is shining and I am too. I feel so happy. How about you? With unity, only for me. We're so grateful that love abounds with our brothers and sisters all around. We're unity, only for me. My, so happy it's Sunday. I'm very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, all for you and for me. We're you and me, all for you and me.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity of London this second day of March 2025. And I was saying to Lorraine when we were reviewing the slides that this slide is pretty much exactly what it looks like where I am living. So we welcome you to Unity of London, and we are just grateful that you could be here today. And we know you may not hear this video until later. So if you are at 501 Nelson Street, if you are watching on Zoom, or if you watch it later, we welcome you all. We are blessed to have you, and we trust that this service will be a blessing to you today. And so at Unity, there are certain things that we celebrate. We celebrate that this is our spiritual home. We celebrate abundance, openness to new ideas, mutual support, and connection with each other. And through all of those things, what we affirm is transformation and evolving peace. So Unity has 5 basic principles. So if you would like to repeat these with me. Number 1, God is. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. 5, I do and give my best by living the truth I know. We make a difference. And how do we make that difference? Well, we make that difference by inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world by what we do. So when we practice being the change, a smile, a kind word, attention to someone who looks lonely or sad, maybe volunteering, we affirm that we are inspiring people to make a positive change in the world. So be that change. And also by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. Unity continues to provide courses and book studies and all sorts of interesting things for people to partake in if they wish. And so now we're going to hear from Jim again.
What Willard just said really ties into the song because it's about being the change. We can be the change. We have to be the change. I don't, yes, times that part of that ritual is be the change today. Make the world the way you want it to be. The way I want it to be is that I don't need to wear glasses or read this book. But the reality is that I can't remember the lyrics anymore, and I can't see them without the glasses. This is a beautiful, beautiful song that I've done a number of times here, and it's been on the screen when I wasn't here many times too. Just an absolutely lovely tune, and it is a call to action. Actually, it's a call to action to be the change we want to be. What would I do if I knew that I could not fade? If I may leave, the wind always fills up my sails. How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trust in the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to dread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a sea, there are miracles in you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my ear. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, never lose faith, even when losing my way. Oh, what step would I take today if I were brave? Oh, what would I do today if I were brave? Oh, what could I do today if I were brave? What could we all do today if we were brave?
Oh, Jim, thank you very much for that song. A number of years, the author of that song, or the writer of that song, Janice Stanfield, was at Unity of London. And of course, we had been singing that song on Sundays. And when she came, she sang that song and we sang along with her. And she was so moved that we knew her song. Just a lovely, lovely woman. So thank you, Jim. All right, so Unity was formed on prayer. Over 130 years ago, Myrtle Fillmore was answering prayer requests by letter. But then things automated. And so now, of course, we can call Unity anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 1-800-NOW-PRAYER, or Now Pray rather. So if you are thinking that you would like some prayer and you want to hear a voice right away, then please call them. Also, too, at the front of the sanctuary at 501 Nelson Street, we have the prayer box. And if there is someone that you would like to hold in prayer, just write their name on the slip of paper and put it in the box. And those names will be collected and they will be prayed over for 30 days by our prayer chaplains and prayer angels at Unity. And then they will be forwarded to Unity Worldwide Ministries as well. And also, too, for those of you who would like at 9 o'clock, 5 days a week from Monday to Friday, the prayer chaplains have prayer and meditation in the morning, and it really is a wonderful experience. So if you have not tried that, I invite you to join us on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. And you can get that link by looking at the link that provides, or the email that provides the information for how to come onto Zoom for our services. It also gives you the link for our Monday to Friday prayer. So today, our prayer chaplains are going to be Dawn, live and in person, and she will either be in the sanctuary or back in the prayer room. So please meet up with Dawn if you would like prayer. If you would like prayer with me after the service, just send a chat in the Zoom link, and Lorraine will set that space aside for us to pray after the service. So great opportunity to pray today. And so this morning, let's go into prayer. So just close your eyes if you wish. Relax into your chair. Let that seat support you. Let the divine spirit that was within you and all around you support you as well. And as we come together this morning, we are grateful for the opportunity to spend this time with our Unity community. And as we go into prayer, we bless everyone attending all spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. We bless all those watching online, those at home, and those who will watch later. And this morning, we affirm peace. And we affirm divine order. Sometimes we may not feel peace, and we may not think that everything is in divine order. But just as right now it may be looking dark and bleak outside, there are no leaves on the trees, but we trust that spring is coming. And so we affirm here and now that everything is in divine order. And we pray by having that faith that you will are feeling peace in your heart. So we lift up anyone who is experiencing any challenges, trusting that the highest and best is unfolding for them, and that the love of the divine spirit is surrounding all of us right now. We take this opportunity to hold anyone that you wish in blessings and prayer, and to speak their names quietly into this space now. We bless our fellow Unity churches, Unity Kitchener, and the Canadian licensed Unity teachers. And as we move forth into this day, may we feel joy and peace and love in our hearts. Amen. Okay, so we welcome today's platform assistant, Dawn Briglio, for the reading of the daily word and to welcome our speaker.
I think this is on. Okay, today's daily word is entitled Positivity. Through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. I've heard it said most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. These words show me the importance of positivity and how an upbeat attitude can keep me afloat through the rough waters of life. Positivity helps me to see the world as full of joy and possibility. There we go. Difficulties may arise, but my confident faith in the goodness of God gives me the power to cross the stormy seas, to find calm waters and the warmth of sunshine. The light of God surrounds, enfolds, and uplifts me. When I center my thoughts on the divine within, I feel equipped to meet all my challenges. God's indwelling grace sees me through the stormy waters. Even if squalls of sadness taught me about, by faith I will outlast the gales and reach calm seas again. Keep your heart with all vigilance, and from it flows the springs of life. So it says in Proverbs 4, verse 23. Well, I get the joy to be able to introduce our speaker today. She's no stranger to us. Pauline Duncan-Thrasher has been a Unity chaplain since 2008 and has been a past board member and the past president of the Unity Board of London. In 2020 and continuing throughout 2021, Pauline became the co-partner with Sylvia Vanderhook as our Unity of London spiritual leadership team. Pauline completed her intensive leadership training, and apparently she was the only Canadian that was involved in many of her classes. Pauline is a published writer and a communications and life skills coach. We look forward to the message that Pauline is going to bring us today, entitled Discern Positive Possibilities. Let's welcome our dear Pauline to the stand.
Thanks, Dawn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dawn. 2012, that's when Sylvia Vanderhook and I walked into Unity of London. And it wasn't here. It was in Meadow Park. And that day changed my life. Changed my spiritual life and my emotional life forever. For the better. Not that I was awful or horrible before, but it allowed me to tap into the positive energy that is at the heart of unity. So discerning positive possibilities was part of a course that I taught with a dear friend who recently passed. We called it personal possibilities. I wonder how many of you sitting there at 501 Nelson or at home, or those who may watch later, have had times in your life when you thought, please don't tell me about sunshine or happiness. Please don't. Do not be that Pollyanna person who says, there's always sunshine out there, when I feel horrible, down, and miserable. that might be you. And I must say, sometimes it was me. And yet, is not unity centered around a core of affirmation? When we do our prayer chaplain training, and prior to that training on March 15th, we will be devoting quite a large section to affirmative prayer. Does that mean that we wear blinders? Those kind of blinders they put on horses so they don't see any obstacles when they're racing down the track? Do we wear blinders so we ignore all the negative? Do we just walk along and fall into a pothole because we're not paying attention? No. We are aware, but we choose where our focus will go. This is a two-part, so I hope if you're here today, you'll come back next week. Today I chose slides, and you know that sometimes I distract myself by slides. But I thought I want some visuals, some vivid imagery that you might take away with you, that might help you if you're dealing with outside news. It's sure not uplifting. Do we get immersed in it, sunk deep down like mud, clutching our feet? Or do we rise above it and choose to focus on the positive? That's the focus for today. I looked up discern. I kind of knew what I thought it meant. And what I saw was it means to see or sense. And dear Amber has talked to us about her senses have become far more attuned. All of us can attune our senses to recognizing or understanding when we are sliding into the negative, when we can pull our foot out, or our feet, or ourselves, and focus on the positive. When I attended the Licensed Unity Teacher Retreat in the fall, they gave us each a little name tag. I'll wear it later on. And on the top it says nature, joy, and something greater. We all have access to nature. We all have access to joy. And we all definitely have access to something greater, which is divine presence within. I just love this picture because to me it demonstrates positive possibilities. Little flowers, little tiny, they're just little straggly, but they're pink and they've got little prickly brown stems, and they are growing, they're thriving in a desert. Maybe there are times when you feel as though you're in a desert. You think, where's the positive around me? I feel as though I'm in a desert. How can I flourish here? So you might want to think about little flowers or little birds. We have our sparrows trying to come to our bird feeder, which isn't heated, and they're pecking, and all the seeds are frozen. But they keep coming back. So we need to keep returning to the positive possibility thinking. There's that song. Maybe you know it. I've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. I should have asked Jim to sing that. You can see that I am not a singer, but that song kept running through my head while I was preparing this. We can't eliminate the negative, but we can choose where our attention goes. We get to choose where our attention goes. I loved this picture of a woman holding her young son in a field of wheat. Because wheat, so it's a mother and she's just holding her little boy, and there's a big wheat, it's like a wheat heart around them. And it just exemplified to me that we think of wheat as a source of life because it provides bread. If you don't eat bread, then think of it as a field of vegetables. And that provides sustenance for us. We need to find our source of sustenance. What is your source of sustenance right now? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you talking about? Who are your friends? When you engage in activities outside unity, are you finding ways to lift your spirits? Just a few questions to consider. And what do you see or sense in your world? If I came around and asked each of you right now, so this is a man, he's holding a camera to his eyes, and I added or sense, because if you closed your eyes, and sometimes Amber invites us to do that in our book study, if you close your eyes, what would you sense? Would you sense a feeling of love, a feeling of positive energy in this room, a feeling of affirmation of you as an individual? And when you're out in a different setting with different people, if you are in a group where you are feeling ill, rose, like that rose, you can choose to continue to bloom. There are thorns in our lives. We know what they are. Thorns of disappointment, discouragement, friends being ill, you being ill. And through it all, we are find ways to discern ways that we can stand up tall, that we can feel energized, that we can reach out to other people. And someone today, I don't want to embarrass this person, but someone today touched my heart so much, who came up and expressed his sympathy about Sweet Chipper. And I past the point where I start to cry when I hear Chipper's name, but I was very touched because the positive energy that I felt from this friend before the service was like a warm sweater. Realize that you can do that for other people. You can provide a positive possibility for every single person you meet. And you do it by sharing from your heart. Doesn't have to be grandiose. Doesn't have to be a great big bouquet or a wicker chair that you don't know what to do with. It can be something small, something meaningful. And in that person's life, who may have up till then been focusing so much on what was missing, comes the little spark of light. That person may, in Jim's lovely song that he sang, feel braver because of something you said, because of a way you were being. That your way of being is providing for other people a vision of positive possibilities. Every one of us has that mission in life, whether you want it or not, to be a walking, living, faith-feeling, loving expression of divine possibilities. And we only have now. No guarantees for tomorrow or even the next hour. So it is all about positive possibilities. Because of my teaching, whoops, back. I am very enraptured by seeing mothers teaching their babies about the wonders of books, the possibilities of adventure through reading. And so the mom holding the little baby and pointing to the pictures in the book is opening up a whole world of possibility thinking. And then the mother with the little boy, I think about to start school, just reaching up and maybe straightening his collar, is saying to that little boy, you're strong, you're independent, you can go into this school and they will teach you and support you. We go back to school every day. Our school is the school of life, and we can use different colors to color our lives. Do you ever take a black crayon and go, shh, that's all I see is black? And then someone says to you, well, you know, in there, you could put a little circle of yellow, which, by the way, is the color for wisdom, which is why I put yellow around all the slides. We also get to choose our colors, and they don't have to be purple, by the way. They can be any color you want. And we get to choose our nourishment. So because I showed the donut, I thought I better show a picture with an apple in it. Gray clouds, gray shadows, they'll fall regardless of our age. Don't think because you're a certain age that there's more gray in your life. Rot. That is not true. In fact, recent statistics have shown that seniors are more likely to be happy and contented than younger people. You might say, what? What are you saying, Pauline? That's not true. Well, you look it up. If I was another speaker, I would have looked up all the statistics and shown them to you. You don't need to see the statistics from me. You look it up. Or just think about your own life now and think about what you worried and fretted and fussed over when you were a teenager. And now you think, what was I so fussed over about? People of all ages. And the skies might be gray or they might be blue. There might be white clouds in the sky. You might choose to get out of the city and go out into the country, or get out of London, Ontario, and go to Unity, Saskatchewan. Wherever you are, you take your positive possibilities with you. And because I'm infatuated with hot air balloons, I love this picture of the inside of a hot air balloon, all the vibrant colors, pink, yellow, orange, and the hot air whooshing up into the inside of the balloon. And I thought people might think I'm full of hot air, so I better not go into that. But it's another positive possibility, an analogy that we can feel so grounded and so stuck to where we are, maybe mired in habit, that it might take something to lift us up. Soaring above. And the possibility of you soaring above where you are right now is there. You only limit yourself by what you say you cannot do. Times of meditation, times of peace, times of just walking by yourself. And in times of walking, so a writer recently said, comes his most creative ideas, or her most creative ideas. I know that Nancy loves to walk. I also enjoy walking. And many of you, who of you like to walk? Just show with your hands. Oh, a lot. Look around. Oh, and Teresa's going, 2 hands. A lot of you enjoy walking. And whether you're walking in the countryside or walking around the inside of a building or in a gym, it's a chance when you're walking to just be at peace with your thoughts and think, I'm so lucky that I can walk. I'm so lucky that I can breathe, that I can live, that I have friends, that I have people who care about me, that I have unity. In a book that is in my bag, I didn't bring it up, it's called The Leader, written by Dale Carnegie. There's a story about a little competition between the wind and the sun. And it has to do with this, a little bit with this picture. The wind said to the sun, I'll bet I can beat you in a competition. And the sun said, well, what's the competition? Do you see that old man in the coat? And there's a man walking down by the beach in his coat. I'll bet I can make that man take off his coat. The sun said, okay, do your best. So the wind blew, gusts of wind, almost like a tornado, blowing, blowing, blowing. And the man only clutched his coat tighter. And the wind finally said, well, he's not going to take off his coat. The sun said, okay, I'll try. And the sun shone gently, gently, warming the man gradually. And then the man started to sweat a bit, and he rubbed his forehead and and then finally took off his coat. So what's the motto behind that? What's the message? That gentleness and friendliness are way stronger than force and violence. They will always win in the end. And looking for the positive in your life right now, in the life of our community, is looking at the possibilities of all of us, each of us, reaching out with warmth and friendliness. We can't force people to walk into our unity. You can't force people to do something they don't want to do, or they may do it, but inside they're full of resentment. We can encourage and invite, like the son inviting the man to take off his coat by warmth and kindness. I wanted to show a little bit of creativity because the artist on the cement, painting on his hands and knees, is bringing forth all the possibilities in that concrete. If you ever watch Make Full, it's a TV show. It has pottery, sewing, art, all different forms of being creative. And you might say, well, what about Tai Chi? You notice the laughter. You notice the gentle movement outside. What about the man who takes a block of wood and begins carving because he knows that the possibility of something beautiful can emerge? I did this for Kate. What about engaging in yoga through balance and friendship? Two women with palms touching and brilliant colors of energy surrounding them. Dale Carnegie wrote his book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, in 1944. And he turned his attention to that topic during the Great Depression. He found to his amazement when he went to the library that there were only about 20 books written on worry at the time. So he started to educate himself. He spent 7 years studying the subject of worry. And he also was teaching adult education classes. So he learned from his students. And we all know what worry does. It can bring on early death, can cause stress, can cause skin eruptions. And worry just feels horrible. And it does nothing. So he wrote his book, and his book became a bestseller. And I just took a couple of tips from his book. One of them was a really interesting title called Give Up, or not give up, but Live in Day-Tight Compartments. And day-tight compartments was for business people who were working in offices all day, and they couldn't leave their office work at the office. They went home and they fussed about it all night long. That sort of sounds like me when I was teaching. I left late. I was always the last person out of the school. I went home, I worried about my students, about getting all the marking done. So day-tight compartments is letting it go. Finding a time to just relax so you can invest all your energy in what the issue is, then find times to relax. In his words, give up the wallowing and give up the butterflies. Don't wallow in what you can't fix, and give up the worry. Take comfort from the law of averages. And the law of averages is just to keep you from worrying, oh, what if I go out? What if I drive to the grocery store and somebody hits me? What if I walk across the street and I get hit by a car? The law of averages are that it probably won't happen. So why worry about it if it does? Keep things in perspective. Get busy. Not busy, frantic busy, but productively busy. And leading into the final slide. Whether you are wounded physically or emotionally, for every ailment under the sun, there is a remedy, or there's none. If there is one, try to find it. If there be none, never mind it. I'd like you to read that with me together. For every ailment under the sun, there is a remedy, or there is none. If there be one, try to find it. If there be none, never mind it. It's common practical sense. And in unity, we believe that even if there seems to be no cure for what ails you, if what ails you is physical or emotional, whether it has to do with your work or your retirement or your fears or your bank balance, we calm our minds. We're going to do that right now when we go into meditation. And I invite you to do that now. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Breathe in, deep, deep breath into your belly. Just hold it for a second. When you breathe out, let that breath come up, 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 and right out of the top of your head, clearing your head of any mess or junk that was in there. Maybe it wasn't mess or junk. Sorry. Breathe in again. Hold it, breathe out. And in this time of relaxing, of breathing in and breathing out, we connect with the source of our positive possibilities, which is divine presence. We connect in an intimate, meaningful, close way. We let everything else go. Nothing else is in you right now. Just the breathing in and breathing out. Absorbing positive energy and releasing anything that isn't. Keep breathing in and breathing out. Imagining yourself as a source of positive possibilities. We'll do that for the next few moments. as we prepare to return. We return recognizing, appreciating, acknowledging, and choosing positive possibilities in our lives. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for that powerful, powerful, timely talk. Because it's really easy for us to focus on, oh my goodness, what is going on? What's going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. All of those things that we can worry about. So it's good to know, of course, that there's always that choice of positive possibilities for us. And that may include just curiosity. So where is the good for this for me? Where can I see good? Thanks very much, Pauline.
Sometimes there's always sometimes that can be very hard to hear. Depending on where we are in our lives, it's an important message, but there are some days it's easier to deal with than others. But I certainly found this in my life, because I, like all of us here, I've had my share of dark days, and some very dark days, times, and I was always comforted because my mom being very strong in the idea of positive possibility, don't think she had worded those terms. It's a song that she used to sing to me. And it is a Pollyanna song, for sure. But it is also true. It is absolutely true. There are dark and troubled times in our lives, but we always have a choice to make. Sometimes we can't make them. Sometimes we can't make the right one. Sometimes we're just weighed down. But we always need to keep in mind that that option is there for us. Dark, the troubled side of life, bright, sunny side too. So we need with the dark sense bright, the sunny side we also need. On the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. You get well, it's never to be so right, all the way. On the sunny side of life. So, today. So, the cloud, the storm, the time pass away. The sun we find bright. We are here we go. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. We'll never set the day. So glad all the way. Keep on the sunny side. Let's be honest with first. Let us believe in the song. Pastor, everyone. Let us read with the song, holy shade. Oh, the whole be proud of your faith.
All right. So thank you very much, Jim, for that song. And so now we're going to take this time to share of our tithes and our offerings. So I know that there will be people coming around with the little blue bag. So if you don't donate or do your donation today, then you can also have the option of supporting your spiritual home by check, MasterCard, Visa, or debit, or using the Tithely site, or by e-transferring to unityoflondon.com. And so we affirm prosperity and abundance for Unity of London and all spiritual communities in all forms and in all realms, body, mind, and spirit. And so if you would like to repeat this prosperity blessing with me, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Okay, so today we have some announcements. The Pizza and Principles is starting today. So to learn more about Unity, and all are welcome, but this is a required course for new members. And of course, our own LUT, Pauline Duncan-Thrasher, will be facilitating that. Now, pre-registration is necessary for the number of booklets and food. But I asked Pauline today if you would like to take that course today, you may have to share the booklet with someone, but you are welcome. And that is going to start in the sanctuary at 11:45. And also coming up, we have prayer training. So join us to learn about affirmative prayer and how to pray with others. So Pauline and Sylvia and I are hosting that. And we are going to start on Saturday, March the 15th at 9:30 to 4, and then on Sunday from 12 to 3. So the cost to learn about affirmative prayer is $50. And if you would like to go on to become a prayer chaplain, then there will be another session on March the 29th. And the cost of that is $30. So please reach out to Sylvia Vanderhook or Pauline or myself if you want to email me or phone me and join us for that prayer chaplain program. All right, so this is no new news, but Wednesday night are music nights with Jim Chapman, 7:30 to 9. And this week, March the 5th, we have Barry James Payne, Lyle Kernahan, and Nick Nace. $10 at the door. What a deal for sure. All right, so now we're going to do our prayer for protection. So if you'd like to repeat with me, the light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. Now, before our peace song starts, I'd just like to, we invite you to enjoy the satisfaction of volunteering in a group of your choice at Unity of London. Please take home one of our handouts and return it next Sunday after you have chosen what you would bring, after you have chosen what would bring you pleasure and all of us joy. So please pick up those forms. And of course, another reminder, Pizza and Principles with Pauline in the sanctuary, 11:45. And now our peace song. Okay, so before we break, if there is anyone that would like to just comment on Pauline's talk today, then let's please do that now. I'll just take a little time because I know that the Pizza and Principles is going to be starting. So is there anyone online or in the sanctuary that would like to comment on Pauline's talk?